It has been 4 years since the last time I unboxed a brand new graphic card, and here's the main showstopper of today's video, the MSI RTX 3060 Ti Aero ITX OC Edition. For people who want to build a gaming PC as small as possible, this RTX 3060 Ti right here is a dreamed card. I am very excited about it, so let's take a look at the card and then build an ITX PC with it. What makes this card really stand out is of course the performance per size. If we look back to the last two previous generations of Nvidia GPUs, we have two high-end cards which are the GTX 1080 Ti and the RTX 2080. The RTX 3060 Ti can beat both of those cards, and it can even go head-to-head with the RTX 2080 Super. This mini card also requires just a single 8-pin PCIe power, while other cards I just mentioned usually need at least one 8-pin and one 6-pin. As I used to have a GTX 1080 Ti myself, being able to put a more powerful GPU into a tiny PC case makes me so excited. For I/O, the RTX 3060 Ti has 4 connectors, 3 DisplayPort 1.4a and 1 HDMI 2.1. For cooling, MSI has always been using 100mm fan for their RTX cards, while other GPUs usually stick with 92mm fans. The heatsink consists of 4 heat pipes and they point to the top of the card, while the Gigabyte RTX 2070 Mini has its heat pipes point to the bottom. Heat pipe orientation can affect its performance, so I think it's worth pointing this out. The heatsink fins are horizontal, so the heat will be pushed out to the front and the back of the card just like a blower GPU. If you own the MSI RTX 2070 Aero ITX, you will notice that the PCB is also shorter. I think it is purposely done to allow flow-through cooling, but for just a small part of the heatsink is exposed, I am unsure how much it can improve in temperature. The backplate is made of plastic, so it is just for protection or aesthetics and does not really help with cooling. And here are a few specifications of the card listed on MSI website. This card is of course an LHR card, which means its hash rate is limited. Boost clock of the card is 1665 MHz, power consumption is 200 watts, but from the BIOS, I can see the max consumption is 220 watts. The length is 172mm, which is 2mm shorter than the RTX 2070 Aero ITX. One thing I dislike about this card is the fan speed. There is no fanless mode on it, and the minimum speed was stuck at 30%, which is around 1230 RPM. I had tried flashing different dual fan 3060 Ti LHR BIOS from MSI, Zotac, Asus, but the minimum speed was still stuck at 1200 RPM. After trying different software to control the fan, I gave up and installed the original BIOS back. With the fan spins constantly, it will be more audible during idle and requires regular maintenance to keep it clean. Here's how my test system sounds during idle without and with the card installed. Before building a PC with this card, I want to squeeze its performance further by undervolting. With MSI Afterburner, at 900mV, I could set the card to 1980 MHz. I ran Metro Exodus benchmark 3 times and here are the results. By undervolting and pushing the card to run at higher clock speed, we got 4% improvement in performance. If you follow my channel, you are probably so familiar to the Red K39. I will use 32GB of VLP ECC DDR4 memory because the cooler I choose is the OpenFOAM Black Ridge. By using VLP RAM, I can use the cooler with a slim 120mm Noctua fan to maximize the CPU cooling performance. I had used this config before with my Strix X470i motherboard, but now I upgraded to the Strix B550i. The CPU voltage is now much lower, which means I can get better CPU temp. Before closing the panel, there was a small problem. The GPU slightly pushed out of the case. Because of that, the panel touched the fan and this was not good. I noticed that the panel was bent toward the inside and it had been like this since I first owned it. So I carefully bent it like Beckham and make it curve out. From here, it looks like the fan no longer touches the panel, but I still want to be sure. So the build is done, and I did try running the PC with Red Dead Redemption 2 to check for temperature. The GPU was quite hot and the fan was just so loud with my custom curve, so I decided to undervolt it a bit more by setting the clock speed to 1930 MHz at 875 mV. Even though you can see the GPU temp were reduced by just 2 degrees, the fan now spins much slower. If we keep both undervolting profiles at the same fan speed, the difference in temperature can be at least 5 degrees. Max GPU power also dropped from 200 watts to 180 watts. I can lower the temperature even more, but I prefer having the clock speed above 1900 MHz, and using below 875 mV is unstable. For gaming performance, let's check Metro Exodus Normal Edition. At 1080p with high graphic settings and DLSS off, the game has no trouble running at 80 to 100 FPS. For Red Dead 2 non-DLSS version, all my settings are kept at 1080p high with triple buffering off. Average FPS was around 70 to 80.
Move it.
So with this new RTX 3060 Ti, it is a huge upgrade in gaming performance, and I am happy to retire my Gigabyte RTX 2070 Mini. With a compact size like this, it is pretty insane to pack a powerful card in a portable PC. The only problem with the card is the availability in the US, and I think it only appears in the Asia market. But you can still grab one on Newegg, and I will have the link in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.